And hello, everyone. How you doing? It's Dave Bondy, keeping it real. Today is Sunday. Let me look exactly. What is it? It is June 11th. How you doing? Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Now, earlier in the week, I was talking about a story that Mid Michigan Now had, that Channel 12 had, about nearly 300 absentee ballots that were found in a storage facility in Clio, I believe it is. And this story went viral on Twitter, on Facebook. But there's a lot of nuances to it. I've been looking over the investigation by the state police, but I wanted to just give you more information because there's lots of questions that people have that may not know. So I wanted to bring in Rachel Stanky, the supervisor, correct?
Correct.
Correct, of Thetford Township, which, for those of you who aren't watching, is in Genesee County. How many? You're not a big population, right?
No, not a big population, maybe 5 or 6,000, 7,000 tops. Actually, we went down in population. So,
Wow. Okay. Okay. So let me try to get from the beginning to the end, and I'll try to ask some of the questions people had because some people were going after me online saying, they didn't know what was going on. And by the way, if you're watching right now and you would like to become a paid supporter of my locals page, go ahead and click that. But okay, so the 2020 election was in November 2020. We had the election and we all thought everything was fine, correct?
correct. So,
Okay.
from my understanding, I found out a year later, just to remind you, but one of our employees had come across a box of postmarked ballots in the township. This was shortly after the election.
Oh,
And
okay. Well, and let me slow you down. At postmark ballots, does that mean just blank ballot absentees? What kind of? Because
yeah,
that's where people were asking me. Were they ballots that had already been counted, or
okay, so they were blank. They were postmarked and addressed to the residents that completed the application to receive an absentee ballot.
okay? So a year later, or that's when you found. When were
I
they?
A year later. So one of our employees, I believe within that couple months or couple weeks after the election, she had recovered these inside the township.
And she. And I'm not going to name her right now because I don't. Investigation's still ongoing. But was she? Did anyone else know? Or the authorities must have known.
Well, she turned it over to the clerk.
Okay.
That is, she wanted the clerk to know, and then the clerk would follow up in that process.
Okay.
She came to me. We ended up having a state audit by the state of Michigan. I believe we were one of maybe 15 or 20 places in the state of Michigan that had that state audit done. And it was in about January of 21. So I found out, and that report's also attached to the FOIA because I FOIA'd that one as well. And then I found out in 2021, the same employee that had found these ballots in November of 21 had come to me and told me that she had recovered these and she just wanted me to follow up to see if anything was ever done, if it was reported. She was worried. She just wasn't sure if anything was followed through with. And that's when I had reached out to the Attorney General and the Secretary of State in an email addressing.
Okay. So she did the right thing. She just wanted to make sure everything was, going right.
Correct.
And that's when did you file the FOIA then, or you?
Nope. So at this point, I contacted them and Jocelyn Benson set me up with, and I believe it was like a conference phone call with Jonathan Brader. So now we're moving into January of 22, I believe. And I did a phone conference with Jonathan Brader, and my emails regarding that are included in the FOIA as well. But that we did a state audit, everything should have been fine with your election. And I just reiterated that this girl had found this box of ballots and she was willing to write a notarized letter. She just wanted to make sure things were followed through with.
Mhm.
So that conversation kind of ended, and I don't think it was really going anywhere. So I kind of let things lie where they were. And a couple months later, I had spoken with the girl and I had asked her that if I was to call the state police, would she give her report? Because I have not seen the ballots. I wasn't there. And she had agreed that she would do the report. So it was probably a few weeks later when I received a phone call from a previous employee at this time who had told me that she had come across some township documents in her storage unit and she wasn't sure, if I wanted them or if she should turn them over to the clerk or, she didn't know it was some township documents that the clerk had asked her to hold on to. And so I just had a hunch to contact the state police at that point because they're township documents and see if they would go over and recover. And honestly, the state police were right on top of it. That evening, they went over and recovered the ballots, and it was under investigation from, I think the time of that was the end of August. It was just before Labor Day of last year. And
Okay.
took them a few months to do work through the investigation. I think they did a pretty good job. And then last I knew, they had turned it over to the attorney general's office.
Okay, and that's where it stands now, most likely.
Correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but like I put this out on Twitter and Facebook. We're not trying to say someone was trying to get Biden elected or Trump elected. We don't know what went on, right? That's what I want to tell people. People go to the extremes on things. And I want to try to tell people, and I'll ask you, we don't know if it was accidental, if it was on purpose. Right?
We have no clue at this point how they got to the storage unit. I mean, as far as, we're getting everybody's report in our FOIA request, but
Yeah.
the attorney general's office will investigate that portion to find out why they were never mailed out. I guess that's the biggest question for me is why were 289 ballots not mailed out, but they were postmarked and addressed to the voters. It's just, it wasn't an accident. Did you just forget to mail out 300 ballots? I don't know. Or is there a reason behind that? So I think that that's what the attorney general needs to look into and find out.
And the question is, those 289 or 300, did they end up voting? And I think there was some research, or I found they were able to track that most of them were, I believe.
Yeah, so most of those people came in, and obviously the law requires them to write a statement stating they didn't receive their ballot.
Hmm.
And they wrote their statement and they were issued a new ballot to vote, from my understanding of this Excel sheet. And then
Okay.
the active votes, which is probably one of my concerns, is they still have active ballots, which means I'm assuming that that ballot's still legitimate. And that person voted on election day in person, it states in the FOIA request that that's the definition of his active ballot, and that person had voted. So that
What does that mean? Sorry, what does that mean again? That they didn't, or explain that.
okay, so they
Sorry.
on election day. No, that's okay. It was confusing to me. I had to read it like 3 times, and I'm still not sure if I understand it correctly. But it states that the ballots in this Excel sheet that are labeled active
Okay.
are people who voted in person. So
Okay.
they came and voted in person, but yet this ballot was sitting in a room still active. So they were issued 2 ballots without the original being spoiled, is what I'm assuming. I could be wrong, but that's all I can take out of that.
Oh, and then I'd have to look up, or maybe or election law. Then does that spoil both of them, or that's
Right. What did
do-
their count? I'm not sure. I guess the state of Michigan would have to clarify that through the investigation.
okay? But what this is not, and I want to make this clear for everyone, it's not 300 ballots that were in a machine on election night that someone took from a machine and put in a room. That's not the case.
Right. These are ballots that were assigned to a voter, addressed and postmarked to be sent out to them, and they never got sent out to the voter.
Okay, but still, in your opinion, um, obviously not how things are supposed to be done. And nowadays, when there's any little thing, you don't want to ruin the trust of people. Is that the big thing with you? I heard you on TV that you don't want to erode the trust of people.
No, you don't want to. Questions have surrounded our elections, especially through the 2020 year. And I think right now we need to build that confidence back in every voter, and right now I know that this was a lot to throw on our people, but if it's going to take 3 years to look into this or investigate it, then I feel that it's right that the people are aware that there's something under investigation in their township and prior to the next election.
And if it was a mistake, it was a mistake. Whatever it is, you just want it to come out.
Exactly.
How tough was that for you? Because that's your job, and I love government transparency. Whether it makes you look bad, it makes you look good. I've been doing journalism 25 years, and I love the government officials that put it out there. This, even though it was the right thing for you to do, you probably took some heat by doing this. You probably had some people calling you names or whatever it may be, like going after me, saying that I'm an election conspiracy. And I said, no, I just want to know what happened. Was it tough for you to come to do this?
Honestly, no. I have not had any negative feedback
Right.
from of our residents, so that makes me feel good. I'm just trying to do the right thing and make sure that they're aware. I would feel bad if the investigation took until after the next election, but yet our residents knew I was aware of this.
Yeah. Okay. And the reason I wanted to have you on to clear up a lot of the confusion, and because the story went viral across the nation, and some people automatically think 300 ballots in a room. They think, oh my God, someone stole them from election night and put them in a room, and
Uh,
that's not the case.
oh, these were just never mailed out to the voter. And
Okay, which is still serious.
oh yeah, there was 39 people who never even voted out of those 289 ballots. So they did their due process and they filled out the application and they sent it in to the township, but they never received their ballot. So that 39 votes could have possibly changed seats.
Yeah, and especially was it Miss Hicks I talked to,
Yeah,
or yeah, she lost by 19, 18, 18 or 19 votes, I think.
19 votes she lost.
Okay, and that's the sad part, because
It is.
yeah, okay, well, so going forward, I guess the people at Thetford should know that you're looking out for them, really, because I mean, you filed the FOIA, and I'm amazed the state police, they don't cooperate a lot of time, or the with FOIAs, but it's good that they came through with you on that too.
Oh, they did. They
Yeah.
actually were great to work with. This, state trooper that was assigned the case, he did a great job. And so I think that they've done their due diligence by far.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. And what's the last word to everybody? Just let them know that you're on top of things.
I'm gonna try, but I need their help. So you can't do it alone.
How can they help? Do we need more people involved in the process? Because I know on election night and certain cities they need volunteers. Do more people need to get involved in the process?
I would definitely encourage that. I know that our clerk struggles to get the volunteers in there and the help because it is a big, and then especially with the new election laws coming up that they're going to have to abide by. So I can tell that probably in her position, elections are very tough and critical right now.
Yeah.
So I would involve the people, attend your election commission meetings, know what's going on. They do the testing of the machines at the election commission meetings. So it's just, I think a lot of people, and I didn't understand myself until I started digging into it, but there's a lot to be involved with in your elections, especially if you want to stand up for them.
Yeah, the more you know, the better. And you can't complain if you don't, like they say, you don't vote. But yeah, okay. Wow. I thank you for taking the time, and hopefully this clears up a lot of confusion with random people who didn't know what was going on. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'll send you a link later of what we just did.
Sounds great. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Wow, there you go, everyone. Yeah, that was a situation that was in Thetford Township in Michigan, in Genesee County, and a lot of you are asking me to do more about that. So I want to know what you think about this situation. That was an in-depth interview right there. That was a long interview, but I hope all of you appreciate it, because that's why I created this page. That's why I created my independent journalism, to dig deep into something. You can't tell a story like that in a minute 30 or 2 minutes on television in a TV news report. So I just spent, 13 minutes doing an interview. Jordan is saying he thinks someone was lazy and didn't bring the ballots to the post office. That could be, it could be as simple as that, Jordan. And it might be as simple as that. Someone was lazy and someone put the ballots in a storage unit, which is stupid. But as you just heard there's someone who lost the election for township clerk by only 19 votes. So this could have changed the election in this community. But the one thing it was not was people who had voted and their votes were not counted. So it's an investigation that's ongoing, and I wanted to bring her on, and I give her credit for coming on and talking with me, and I really appreciate her for being here. So thank you, everyone. And Jordan is typing again. How many people are watching right now? I'm not sure how many people are watching right now. Hello, Jordan. How are you? Okay, let's switch topics right now. We are going to talk about. Hello, Debbie. How are you doing? Hello, Misty. What's up? 13 people watching. Really? It doesn't show me on the screen how many people are watching. Watching from Indiana. Can you talk about license plate readers? I will get into that. They do have license plate readers in Michigan where if you're just driving by, they're tracking your license plate whether you know it or not. Very interesting indeed. Okay, let's talk about Donald Trump. Let's talk about something. Hello from Freeland. What's up? Hello, Jackson. Watching from Jackson. Where is everyone watching from? A serial bank robber. Well, that's cool. That's cool that they caught him. Let's talk about Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump was indicted by a federal grand jury. Hello, Debbie from Alabama. Misty in New Hampshire. What's up, Misty? So Donald Trump was indicted by a federal grand jury facing, I believe, 37 charges, 37 counts. If convicted, he could spend up to 200 years in prison. Now, we know that's not going to happen, but there is a serious possibility that he will spend time in prison if convicted. And he said he will still run for president if he's convicted. Now, under the law, under the Constitution, he would still be allowed to run for president if he is convicted of a crime. Jordan said he gets less than a year in community service. That could be the case. Trump spoke out just yesterday about all of this. He spoke out during a rally. And I'm going to play for you exactly what he had to say. If you didn't hear it, let's take a listen.
And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right.
Okay, I thought that was going to be sound from the former president, but that was not sound from the former president right there. That is just him going on stage, but this is him as he was appearing at an event yesterday in Georgia. I'm sorry, this was in Georgia. He also went to one in North Carolina yesterday. And I want to know what all of you think about this. Will this impact the people who are going to vote for him? Is it going to impact, more importantly, the independents, the people who were on the fence? Jordan says, unfortunately, money talks. If you're the 1%, you get a lesser penalty. Yeah, absolutely. If I was charged with these crimes, I'd probably do 50, 100 years in prison. Debbie, Trump is our only hope. Well, Debbie, I want to ask you, Debbie, what are the independents going to think about this? Those people who maybe like the conservative agenda, but they can't vote for Trump. So is it better then, in their mind, if DeSantis gets the nod to be the candidate? I just want to ask, and try to, if you love Trump, that's fine, but try to put your love aside for a minute and think about it. If you have an independent and their choice is Trump or Biden, and Trump is someone who they think is a mean person, someone who's been indicted, someone who's cruel and mean, or there's Biden. Some people would vote for Biden. I know Republicans that would rather have Biden than Trump because Trump is mean. So I want to know what you think about that. And Jordan is an independent. So Jordan is a perfect example right now. Jordan, let me ask you, if it came down to Biden and Trump, who would you vote for? And would that be different if it was Biden and DeSantis? Would that flip your vote? That's what I was wondering. Because there's a good chance that Trump is most likely going to be the nominee. Biz29 says Trump still has my vote. Okay, but the people I want to hear from are people like Jordan, the independents. So, Jordan, do you think now, does it change things if, for example, Gavin Newsom ran for president or Gretchen Whitmer? What do you think? I want to know what you think, Jordan, if you're still watching. Jordan says he's an independent. So he would be the perfect person to answer this question. Because if you are a hardcore Trump person, your vote is probably already set in place. You are not going to make a difference in the election, probably. If it's Trump versus Biden, you're going to vote for Trump. But are the independents either not going to vote, or are they going to stay away from Trump, and are they going to vote for Biden? I know a woman, let me tell you the story. I'm not going to say her name, But I know a woman who is a Republican all of her life. She voted for Trump, or she voted for Biden. Why? I asked her, why did you vote for Biden? She said, well, I didn't vote for Biden. I voted against Trump. I voted against Trump because he's mean, he's racist, he's homophobic, he's a horrible person. Now, she agreed with his policies. She agreed with his economics. She agreed with a lot. But she said she didn't like him as a person. And that did it. She voted for Biden. So I wanted to know how many of those people are out there and how many of those people could give Biden another 4 years in office. I want you to try to look at it like that. If you are a big time Trump supporter, try to take that hat off and try to think of the independents out there. What are they going to think? And could that cost you the election? I'm not saying I support Trump or Biden or DeSantis. I definitely don't support Biden. I'm going to say that right now. But is it more important that a Republican becomes president? Or if Trump can't become president, would you rather have Biden as your president? A lot to think about. I want to know what you think. Debbie says, my question, with all the proof they have against Biden, why are they spending all the time going after Trump? Debbie, he's the president. Biden cannot be charged with a crime right now. He can when he leaves office, but they are most likely covering up for Biden. That has been said by FBI whistleblowers. I'm not saying that. That's being said. And it's a double standard, many people are saying. Hillary Clinton, many are saying that she did way worse than anyone else, and she was let go scot-free without any charges. Some are saying that Biden, that he should be charged as well, that he has more classified documents or alleged classified documents. So I just want to try to have a deep discussion, and I want you to put down the Trump love or the Biden love and think about the independent. What will the independent do in the election? So I hope people can do that, because for you, is it more important that a Republican wins, or is it more important that Trump wins? And if it's more important that Trump wins and that doesn't happen, are you okay with Biden having another 4 years? Let me know what you think. Scott Stillwell. Scott, the question is, it will help. We can't afford another 4 years by then, so I would vote for whoever the Republican would be. Okay, so Debbie, perfect example right now, Debbie. You are a Trump supporter, obviously. But if for some reason DeSantis became the nominee, you would vote for him over Biden, Debbie? Or would you stay at home and not vote? That's the question I have. Okay, you say you would vote for him. Okay, because you would not want another 4 years of Biden. But I wonder, are there any independents out there, like Jordan? He must not be watching anymore. But are there any independents like Jordan who would vote for Biden if it was Trump Biden? And if that happens, you would lose the election. Kind of what happened in 2020 or 2015, 2016. Deb Granny said she would vote for DeSantis in that situation. Deb Granny. Hello, Deb Granny. How you doing? I just like to play devil's advocate and try to see where people's minds are on all of this. So would it be better? Would you have a better chance? Would the Republicans have a better chance of winning the presidency if it was DeSantis? I only say that because of the independents. Are the independents going to automatically go against Trump? Or are the independents going to look at the economy, going to look at the border, going to look at what happened in Afghanistan and be like, we can't have this crap? Are they going to say, we don't care what Trump did? Our country was better when he was in office. That's what they would say. Or are they going to say, Trump is mean, Trump is a criminal, Trump is racist, we're not voting for him, we're voting for Biden? Now, Deb Granny says anybody but Biden. Now, this might change the mix if Gretchen Whitmer becomes the nominee and for the Democrats, or Robert Kennedy. Or what about Gavin Newsom? That could change the game. That could change the game completely. So I don't know. It's very interesting to see what's going on. Debbie says no more Democrats. So Debbie is a Trump supporter, but she is willing to support DeSantis if DeSantis becomes a nominee. Okay, I have a soundbite I'm going to play for you right now. And this soundbite, hold on, let me bring it up here. Let me remove Donald from the screen. Goodbye, Donald. I'm going to play Bill Barr, William Barr. He is the former Attorney General, and he was on Fox News today talking about Trump. Take a listen to what he had to say.
The idea of presenting Trump as a victim here, a victim of a witch hunt, is ridiculous. Yes, he's been a victim in the past. Yes, his adversaries have obsessively pursued him with phony claims, and I've been at his side defending against them when he is a victim. But this is much different. He's not a victim here. He was totally wrong that he had the right to have those documents. Those documents are among the most sensitive secrets that the country has. They have to be in the custody of the archivist. He had no right to maintain them and retain them. And he kept them in a way at Mar-a-Lago that anyone who really cares about national security, their stomach would churn at it.
Well, that's Bill Barr right there. And, you know, that is his opinion. And Donald Trump is innocent until proven guilty. That's how we work in the United States. Even if you hate Donald Trump, you have to agree that he is innocent until proven guilty. But a lot going on and a lot of questions involving this. And this is something we have not dealt with in our country. Senator Lindsey Graham spoke out also on ABC News this morning about this. And I want to play for you what he said. And I want you to take a listen and see what you think.
Trump will have his day in court, but espionage charges are absolutely ridiculous. Whether you like Trump or not, he did not commit espionage. He did not disseminate, leak, or provide information to a foreign power or to a news organization to damage this country. He is not a spy. He's overcharged. Did he do things wrong? Yes, he may have. He will be tried about that, but Hillary Clinton wasn't.
So there you go. You talk about what Hillary Clinton did. Sight and Sounds has no audio. Can everyone else hear me okay? Is everyone else having any issues hearing me? Sight and Sounds is having issues hearing me. So I just wanted to hear, or I wanted to ask if anyone can hear me right now. Let me know if you are able to hear me. Okay. Okay, you can hear me okay. So I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to talk about that today, and very interesting indeed as we move forward as to, you know, what's going to happen in the future. So today's show was focused on the controversy in Genesee County, Michigan, involving the ballots. So we had that, and we talked about the election. And if anyone has any questions before I let you go, bring them on. If there's anyone new, is there anyone new watching right now who has never watched one of our shows before? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for me, things you would like me to do, let me know, and I will try to do that. Coming up on Thursday, Kristen Megan. We're going to be talking to Kristen Megan. She is an expert in ventilation, I guess you could say. I'm going to have to get her perfect description. I need to look it up. But early on in the pandemic, she said that masks did not work. She said that masks did not protect people from COVID. It turns out she was right. She was right. And the studies are showing now that she was right. The masks, it was a sideshow circus, according to her. We're going to have her coming up on Thursday. Kristen Megan will be on our show on Thursday. And M.A. Courting, she said that. She said that they caused more health issues. So you're going to be hearing from her Thursday on my show. Kristen Megan will be on my show Thursday. I'm about to have a very extensive interview with her talking about everything, about masks, about how the media tried to mislead all of you during the pandemic. And it started at the very top of the government. Okay, we're going to have that coming up on Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on my Locals channel. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions that I can answer for you? And I really appreciate all of you being here, being paid supporters. And I have a favor to ask all of you. I'm not sure how many people are watching right now. It doesn't tell me on the screen, but I'm going to put a link on the screen. Hold on here. 13 people. Okay. Okay. I put a link on the screen, davebondy.locals.com. That's the website to Locals. All 13 of you watching, you're here because you paid to be here. And I really appreciate all of you. I would like to grow this mission. Would you vote for a Trump DeSantis ticket? Deb wants to know. Deb Granny. So all of you watching right now, can you copy and paste that link? That link that you see that I posted, davebondy.locals.com. Can you copy that and then paste that on your social media and tell people to sign up for $5 a month? Is it worth it? Is it worth the $5 a month that you're paying for Locals? And if it's not, what can I do to make it worth your while? Misty says yes. Debbie says yes. Felis Cadis is typing right now. Biz29 says yes. I think it's worth more than $5 for Felis. Deb Granny says yes. Yeah, I want to be part of your life. I want to be part of your community. I want to make a difference. And I think the more people that join us here, the better. So once again, all of you, go back and click that link, davebondy.locals.com. Share that out with all of your friends. Have them sign up. There is a way that you can give gift subscriptions to people. I'm going to work on that because I don't know if any of you would give a gift subscription to one of your friends, basically, where you pay for the subscription and you give it to someone. There's a way to do that. And I'm going to figure out and put a link on Locals. I'll be posting that on how you can do that. I think it's pretty interesting because you might have some friends or family that can't afford it, or maybe some people that don't know anything about me and like to get it out there. Hingsjan, sorry to pronounce your name. Really appreciate that. Okay. Well, I am going to get going, everyone. I really appreciate all of you being here. It means a lot to me. Hingston, your last name. Okay, I'm close. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, we're going to end our broadcast, everyone. I really appreciate all of you being here once again. And I am going to talk to you on Thursday. But remember, I promised every day I am posting on my Locals community. I'm not going anywhere. Every day I am posting on Locals. I might only have a show on Sunday and Thursday night, but I post every day. And if we get more paid supporters, if we get, excuse me, Jan, okay, Jan, if we get 2,000 paid supporters, I will do a show every single day. If we get 2,000 paid supporters, I'll do a show every single day. How about that? Okay. I'm going to let everyone go. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I really appreciate you being part of this Locals community. And all you have to do is share this video out with your friends. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go up and hang out with the family. Talk to you, everyone. Have a great week. Amen. Stay safe. You're all in my prayers.